Um, Make sure I could go to where my comments are live. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me introduce myself to those of you who are new around here. My name is Brittany Raji Alberti. I am Dave's wife, Amar's mommy, founder of the Marketing Midwife Consulting Firm located here in St. Louis, Missouri. Also, founder of the Rich Mamas Club, the one and only social club for bougie Black moms on a budget. It is a social, emotional wellness club for women where we have a village of people who really choose to do life with each other. Um, I work in economic development here in St. Louis, Missouri. I have worked in the small business ecosystem for about 4 years, like nationally. But beyond that, I've gone to over 20 accelerators. I've coached for some. I'll be running a local accelerator here in St. Louis very soon. And I had to hop on here and just kind of comment on some of the things that are moving. With my consulting firm, we do brand activations. I sit on a lot of panels discussing and even like steering committees, like reviewing applications, reviewing making sure that we can assign people grant money and giving people opportunities. And I actually just recently even post something the other day about wanting to move on, like not even wanting to coach for a while. And I want to even talk about that just being in perspective of the demographic sometimes that I desire to work with, but it's very difficult to work with. I have to even say, I forget who it was, another coach in this field was saying that, I know I've been called to this, but often when we're called to things, it doesn't mean that it's easy and it doesn't mean that you always enjoy it. I'll just say that, right? Because often the places that we are in, people need to do a lot of healing. They need to do a lot of reflection. They need to have a lot of self awareness to really get results. And I'm actually sorry, let me actually move this over here so Instagram can see me good. Because people need to do a lot of self-reflection, have self-awareness, build up emotional intelligence, is because often people are internalizing things about themselves in business, like, oh, people don't support me, it's this, it's that. And it's exhausting for people who understand how business works, right? Your revenue is tied to relationships, your relationships are tied to emotional intelligence. And if you lack emotional intelligence to be able to accept feedback and critique and and accept it accordingly, it will turn you away from the bigger dollars. It will turn you away from opportunities. I can't tell you how often I'm sitting and I'm giving people feedback as a business counselor with the Women's Business Center, or even coaching people, and people will not hear what you're saying because they're taking it personal. And when people take things personal, like it's this quote that our former first lady Hillary Clinton said. She said, "You should take things serious and not personal." What I have found is that there are a lot of people who desire to be in leadership positions, who desire to become a business owner, who desire to have a certain notoriety and have that number one spot, that don't lack the leadership skills to really be there. I'm gonna just say this: you don't. I mean, you lack. You don't have the leadership skills. You don't have what it takes to sustain it. And I'm not talking about anyone in general, but often I'm saying that the reason why so many things are backwards and why so many things don't get to like come pull through is because people stop the personal development in life. When you stop growing, when you stop learning, when you start thinking, oh, I'm a bet on me and all these other things, it's detrimental to your relationships, to your professional development, to your personal development, and your business. But often people are stuck in this mindset that you haven't done enough work yet. I mean, like, they're stuck in this mindset that people owe them and they really haven't done enough work yet. I even realized in some of my coaching programs, like someone was just asking, it was like, hey, you're in multiple programs at once. I'm like, yes, I'm playing a big game. I don't want to play small anymore. I spent a long time of my life playing small. And in order to sit at the big kid table, I need to do things differently. And in order to do things differently, I have to be challenged at different tables and in different rooms. And people are afraid to be challenged in this season. And I want to say this from the bottom of my heart. And I hope that it does trigger some people. It's you, it's not them. See, because it was me in a lot of situations where I traded in the popularity over being profitable for a lot of situations. It was me who couldn't accept criticism. I mean, who couldn't like take critiques at one point because we are artists and we sensitive about our stuff. Like we allow certain quotes and certain sayings to really be an excuse to shrink. Because when you're standing all in your power, you're able to like hear things and hear and take it serious and be able to maneuver through it without taking it personal. This week alone, y'all, this past 2 weeks has been tremendously hard for my family. Like my baby had RSV, my whole household got sick, my husband had an ear infection. Of course, I'm the mom and I'm the wife, so I can't afford to be sick. As soon as I start speaking about illness, it manifests. It's so funny. Like all the things, right? I had before that, I had some things going on with my team restructuring, like so many different things, and it's so many levels. And you got to understand that every time you're asking for elevation, there are going to be new struggles that come with that. And I understand the value of who I am in the marketplace. I understand my value of who I am in my household. And I understand that every time that I'm being elevated in an era, there's going to be turbulence. If you ever flown in a plane, I'm hoping most of you have. And if you haven't, I highly recommend you check out Delta and get a first class seat, right? But even in first class, if there's turbulence in the air, you still shake. You shake like the people that are all the way in the back, right? And what people don't understand is that at every level, you're going to experience some of these things. And I say this because if I had had um and I will say I haven't always had high emotional intelligence, but what I've noticed is that people lack the people skills and know how and don't know how to build relationships. Like it took me 3 years to get one of my contracts. And I got a lot of no's. There's this contract that I'm working on in another city. And initially they told me no, but now I secured it. You have to understand that it's not personal. It's serious, but it's not personal. And what I see often working with founders, working with professionals, working with people who are ambitious, who are talented, but ambitious, is that we're not willing to do the work. We're not willing to do the work. So instead of us doing the work, taking the critique, getting back in the lab and figuring out how we can become better, figuring out how we can build some new relationships, figuring out what we need to do to be know, like, and trust by the people that we desire to have relationships. I am a living testimony that there are people who don't even know your name, who will go to have not even knowing you to be on a first name basis. I had to look up the other day and I was in a room and I'm like, these are people that I admired on the internet a few years ago that are running up and hugging me. I had to stop. But here's the thing, it took that consistency, it took that emotional intelligence. And here's the thing, on the flip side, there's some people that I admired who I got to know who hate me now. And that's hard because we all desire to be loved. We all desire to be liked. We all desire to have this camaraderie. But the reality of it is everybody not going to be your people. Everybody can't go. Everybody's not going to be your biggest fan. And for the life of me, and I know like there's some clients that I work with that don't even have this issue, but I'm really talking to the people that have a desire to go to a new level. It's very important that you figure out who are your people. I'm seeing so many people, oh, they don't support me. I don't have this and I don't have that. And I used to subscribe to that. I'm gonna be honest. I used to subscribe to that where I would feel like, oh, you know what? I'm just alone and da 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 da. And okay, I ain't gonna give up on me. But here's the reality of it. There probably are some people who really are your people, and because they're not the people that you think that they should be, you're probably overlooking them. You probably are not appreciating them, and you're trying to win a popularity contest that'll be a never-ending like chase for something that won't even be what you want it to be. Let me just say that it won't be profitable, it won't be fulfilling, it won't be impactful when you're chasing the wrong thing. Like I said, we were just sick for 2 weeks. My team kept everything moving accordingly, even with us having some internal things and switching up with contractors and stuff. Never missed a beat. Like literally, like calling me, did a meal train for my family, dropped off things. Shout out to Erica and Carrie and Jaquana. Like literally kept everything moving, checking in on me. My people, I'm talking about from DC, Atlanta, Sacramento, calling, checking me. Hey, what you need? Let me send you this. My church sent like. And here's the thing, y'all. I was sick and my baby was sick and I was really overwhelmed. But I know it don't happen for everybody like that. And here's the thing. Most people don't receive that kind of love because you don't give that kind of love. You give expecting something in return. And I've been there before, right? But your relationships are just tied to what you can get from it. And those people who don't understand that the relationship is more valuable than anything, you will continue to be in that cycle where you feel like you're the lone wolf, where you feel like, oh, people are underrated to you and it's yours, and you have all this entitlement, yet you lack the integrity and emotional intelligence to go out and build what you say you desire to have. It's so important, y'all. In 2024, if you desire to be somewhere that you're not right now, that you take a look in the mirror and say, who am I being? Who am I being? And how am I showing up in this world? Because who you are being is getting the results that you have right now. And if you're being a person that's always thinking about what you're getting outside of what you're getting out of the situation, you're going to continue to just get what you're going to get out of it. Because I promise you, on the other side, real people who live in abundance, real people who know what it's like to have relationships that stem beyond transactions and that are truly transformational, they know that the greatest thing that you could ever get was something you never expected, that you could ever get or give was something that you never expected. And it's usually coming from the people that you don't expect it from. But we got to get to a point where we understand that we got to do some more internal work. That we got to be not only the change that we want to see, but we got to be the people that we need. Are you showing up for other people? Do you care about the relationships that you have? Do you actually even take interest in people outside of, or are you too busy trying to run your race? Are you too busy to come to that event? Are you too busy to check up and check on your friend? Are you too big? Because if you're too busy, remember, when it's your turn, people will be too busy for you. And I can honestly say the greatest gift of being sick for 2 weeks and going through all of these things with my child in my backyard catching on fire, y'all, hell like broke loose and I understood the assignment. I was like, man, I must be called for this. I must be called for this season that you're trying to discourage me. But then it also showed me who my people were. People calling, people dropping by, people sending food, the doctors, even like this how I know that God conspire. Like I know I'm God's favorite, and you gotta have one of them things in your heart where you know you're God's favorite. I was like, Lord, I don't want to get to the hospital and my baby running temperatures, all this other stuff. Like the whole experience, I was covered. I had people that would advocate for me. I had people that calm me. And I pray. I was like, Lord, please give us a black doctor walked in. And that's important for me. Nothing against races or all that other stuff, but it's certain things, certain different levels and reflections that people from other demographics you just miss. You just miss. Right? So it's so many things where I understand because I do believe the law of reaping and sowing. I get everything out of this life that I put back in, like and some. And some. So are you a person where you're expecting for everything to just come to you, for people to just show up for you, for all like, are you entitled or do you understand the law of reciprocity? Because if you understand the law of reciprocity, you will understand it is you not giving enough, not that you're not receiving enough. And here's the thing, also knowing that where you reap might not be where you sow might be not where you reap. But we got to release some of the entitlement that we have, that people have to do things for us, that people have to support us, that people should be there for me, or nobody like, oh, my family don't support me, or I don't have a bill. Like unsubscribe to that newsletter that people owe you anything. Unsubscribe to that newsletter that, you know what I'm saying, oh, well, this is just the way it is. Because I guarantee you that if you subscribe to, okay, you know what? Who are my people? Let me find out if this is genuine. Let me find out what I need to be doing different to cultivate relationships, and not relationships that are just tied to revenue. But here's the thing: if you're lacking in revenue, you're lacking in relationships. If you're lacking in support in your life, you're lacking in relationships. If you're lacking in notoriety and visibility and whatever area it is where you feel like, you know what, oh, I want more, it's because you haven't met the right person that can be that more. And here's the thing: before you get more, you got to give more. You got to become more. You have to be more. And I just want us to know, from a person who was so entitled, who just thought like, oh, the world was conspiring against me at one point. And even sometimes I still hurt when relationships fall apart. Whatever the reason might have be, whether it might be spiritual, emotionally, financial, whatever the reason could be, it still hurts. But I understand my assignment. And I understand, like, it was this video, Dr. Darius Daniels, he said, every time you get mad, you stop doing with the things that you know that is your gift that you were supposed to do. If you're that person, it's because you're selfishly thinking that it was for you. You're selfishly thinking that, oh, like, you know, you're put in position. I understand the assignment of me sitting in certain rooms and having certain I don't even want to say it that way, because I understand that with each new level and the new, what is the word, Lord? What's the Lord word, Holy Spirit? So much is given, much is required. I will say that. So everything that is being given in this season, there's so much more required in development, in growth, in integrity, and um again, like, just becoming more. So I want to ask you in this season, who are you being? Who are you being? Are you being the person who subscribed to, I don't have nobody, or they don't want to support me, or they hating on me, or, you know what I'm saying, I'm overlooked for this position. Oh, what is that? I got some stuff. Did somebody buy something on Instagram? Y'all never seen these lights coming on. Y'all, I'm streaming on multiple platforms, and all of this stuff in the background just started going crazy. Whoever did that, thank you, thank you. Are you subscribed to the notion that you're owed it, right? Like, you're owed, like, you're like, are you entitled? Because I know it's the cost of shrinking for me. The cost of shrinking will cost me my destiny. And the cost of shrinking for you will also cost you your destiny. But here's the thing: there's also a cost to being all you can be. There's also a cost. There are going to be some people who will just be disgusted by the sound of your name. There are going to be some people who will talk bad about you because they, like, just because they don't like your shirt. Like, it just be random stuff. But you got to understand that it's more spiritual than anything. Your destiny and who you are being is tied to so many other things that it's going to upset some things in the spiritual realm that will manifest in this realm. So those of you who are playing small, know that you are working into the enemy's hand. That's one part. Those of you who are playing small, or here's the thing too. Those of us who are playing the biggest game, we're gonna have a lot of turbulence. Like I said, no matter where you are on the plane, whether you're in first class or you're in the fourth, the economy seats, the turbulence feels the same. The experience is different, the access is different, but the turbulence is the same. So you gotta pick which seat you want to sit in. And I have decided that I'm a first class girl. I have decided that. So I decided that I have to be the person who continuously gets to stay in first class. So who do I need to become to stay in first class? Because I know what economy feels like. I know that I'm gonna feel it tight. I know it's gonna be tight. All of the other things. I'm unwilling to shrink myself It's physically uncomfortable. I'm a big body Benz girl, right? It's physically uncomfortable at one thing, but I'm unwilling to shrink myself to sit in the economy to save money, to sit in the economy to save friends, to sit in the economy to save face or to make other people feel great. I'm unwilling to sit in economy anymore. So, in order to get up to first class and not only to stay in class first class, I gotta pay dues. What you said, Dr. Cheryl, I gotta pay dues. It costs more to sit in first class. I gotta pack differently. I get to get on early. So the access is different. But here's the thing, the access and the experience is different. But when the turbulence hit, I don't care how much. Look, I just jumped on what we talking about. We are talking about like it's not you, it's them. Let me just reset for those of y'all because I'm gonna get off of here. Those of y'all who live in St. Louis, this was STEM is that I'm seeing. I work in economic development. I work with a lot of small businesses. I'm sitting at a lot of different tables, and I just noticed sometimes how we feel entitled. To top that, there's a gentleman named Darius Cooks who's also in St. Louis right now. And every time Darius Cooks comes to St. Louis, it's some drama. Now, I don't know. I don't follow Darius. So I don't know what happens to other people, but I just know the internet being an uproar because of what he do or what he don't do. And there's just some things that just have happened that there's some people who feel entitled for this person to do what they want him to do. But not only that, I mean, I'm working on a brand activation. I got opportunity. I've been reaching out to some entrepreneurs. I'm like, hey, where's this information for what? Like some people, y'all don't even know. Like, I'm gonna just say for the gentleman, I haven't had Ron's fried rice. I don't know him personally. Let me just say this. I've heard that it's great. Don't know him personally, but I just wish that my brother had more emotional intelligence. Ron, if somebody sends you this video, please know that I'm saying this out of a place of love. I wish that you had more emotional intelligence. Here's why. Ron, I was denied for a contract that I knew I was more than qualified for 3 years in a row. As a matter of fact, I had one of my colleagues to tell me that my presentation was too urban and overlooked me and took me off the roster altogether. I now, 3 years later, hold this contract, and I'm one of the most popular speakers, coaches, and facilitators for this particular program. That's part one, Ron. But here's the thing. You got to understand that it's not personal. Sometimes authenticity rubs people the wrong way. That's just one thing. And here's the thing, too. To Brother Darius, he only patronizes certain setups. So, like I said, y'all, there's first class and there's economy on a flight. So, if you're deciding that you want to be in the same ilk of someone with millions of followers that reviews things on so many other levels, he requires a certain type of accommodation to support and patronize businesses. He goes to brick and mortars. Therefore, if you want to be considered, don't expect yourself to be the exception to the rule when his standard is a restaurant. Do you hear me, y'all? Do you hear me? A lot of us, we have a sense of entitlement. It doesn't matter how good it is, because here's the thing, y'all can't none of y'all convince me to ride on no Spirit. I will never, I don't care. Look, I will I will sleep in the airport before I catch a Spirit flight. And some of us, we get upset because people have standards. That's a sense of entitlement that people don't owe you. Okay? So here's the thing. Whether you are an entrepreneur, a professional, whoever, are all in likes, it's time to practice some emotional intelligence. This same one, I've been denied for TED Talks in multiple cities, and I just headlined a TED Talk in Charlotte, North Carolina. The same one who could not, or Frontier, like what you said. Look, now I think I done caught a Frontier one time when I had to pay for multiple people, and we just had to do it because we all had to get home, but never again. That was it. That was it. It's just a certain type of experience that I require. That's just the truth, right? So if you want to be considered in the big leagues, the big dogs, you got to pay to play. You got to pay to play. Most of us are not willing. Oh, I can make more money this way. I could do all of this. If you wanted to sit in that seat costs different. First class is different than economy. But here's the thing, we can't complain. We can't make people want to do something different. We can't be entitled. If you want to ride that, but here's the thing, you might have broken that relationship and I'm almost sure you don't have a chance with that brother, right? But not only did you potentially ruin the chance with that brother, you're also potentially ruin the chance with millions of people that is on his platform. Now, here's the thing, y'all. I done been bullied in this industry. I've had people to badmouth me. I've had people to copy everything and then go to talk about me about their friends. And I have been bitter. I have been disgruntled. It's some of the very people that I have gone out on a limb to help have put me in the dirt. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it is discouraging. It is gut wrenching. It is something that just makes I just like, God, why did you put me here? Like sometimes, like not like here on this earth, but in this position, like I have this discomfort. Like here's the thing: you want to know what you built up? Try to start a business because all of your childhood trauma gonna come out. All of your childhood trauma gonna come out. And here's the thing: you want to know more about yourself? Get married because you will learn about all of the things that you think somebody else doing wrong, but it's really you. We gotta get to a point that if you want more out of life, you gotta require more from yourself. So if just by chance, like I don't have nothing against them, like I've heard great things, I haven't heard anything. And look, I'm from St. Louis. I love me some fried rice too. But I just wish that every time that somebody came here, it didn't have to be that type of issue because it's a stain on our economy. Speaking from an economic development standpoint, it's bad publicity for Black business in general. And here's the thing: we're not a monologue. We're not a monologue, but we have to learn to practice some emotional intelligence. And here's the thing: if you that girl, if you that guy, if you really got it, you will have it. Nobody can take that away from you. But do the work to get in the league. If I want to get cross the stage in one of my coaching programs, I have to pay more money to be recognized at that level because I have to be in a different program. Now, this year was crazy. I got like 4 awards and 4 other programs and all this other stuff, but I paid tens of thousands of dollars to get the results, to get the reward. We want the reward without paying. We want to go and get some vegetables out the garden without putting the seeds down, without doing the work. It's super important in life, in your personal and professional life, that you tend to your business while you're working in your business. If you're a professional, that you also do professional development while you're actually executing that work. When we don't get that, when we don't understand that, we're going to continue to be at the bottom of the barrel with people who are okay with, using Cash App. No disrespect to Cash App. It's an option on my payment processor. But here's the thing. You want people to invest in you, but you don't even have a proper system. You want people to pay. You want to be recognized in certain things, but you're not playing the game, y'all. You will lose 100% of the game that you're not even signed up to play. Now, that's all I got here. Please don't fight me, y'all. I don't want no beef. I don't want no smoke with nobody. But I just want to say this. No matter where you are in life, it is super important to tap into emotional intelligence, to keep your cool, to keep your calm, because eventually all things, cream always rises to the top. If you're really that good and you're persistent and you're relentless, you are going to make it. I'm 9 years into this thing. And I've had some of everything from my personal and professional life to go wrong. But because I have been so relentless about this journey, I know, like I'm getting ready to run like this accelerator here. And I've been through so many different accelerators. And now I'm like facilitating and helping people. Like we done already passed out like thousands of dollars. It's just been so many amazing things. But it was 6 years ago, almost 7, that I found out this is what I wanted to do. And I had so many no's. And I had so many people to test me. And I had so many people back me in a corner. And I was in my feelings. And I almost said I didn't want to do this no more. But let me tell you something. That's when God had to humble me. You want this? Show me you want this. If you want this, don't let them. If somebody can come and knock you off your grind, then you really don't want this. If somebody can go and badmouth you and then make you shrink, I had to sit at one point and realize that I was mad about somebody who tried to do me wrong, and it was like the moon howling back at the dog. You see, because if the dog howled at the moon, nobody paying attention. I know y'all done heard this before, but soon, excuse me, soon is the moon turned back around. And so, then he like, you bringing all this, like, it's just, it don't make sense. 2 plus 2 don't, like, it's 2 plus 2, and you saying it's 5. We have to learn that no matter who we are, where we're from, you got to believe in you. You have to find the people who will celebrate you and not tolerate you, and that's not going to be everyone. Some of us, we are never going to sit at the cool kids table. That's just the reality. Some of them you're going to rub the wrong way because you're going to tell the truth. It's just not going to go the way that you want it to. But let me tell you something. I sit at some profitable tables. I sit at some tables with some literally some movement makers, some people who are in, like, literally getting ready to cause a tsunami, some disruptors. So here's the thing. I would rather be where the disruption, where the current is really about to move, than being with the cool kids and feeling good about myself. Like, and being broke. We got to stop letting the likes, the comments, the subscribers dictate how we feel about ourselves and how we will show up in the marketplace. You are enough. Whether anybody whether it was 10 of y'all watching or if it was 2 of y'all watching here, I'm still going to show up, and I'm going to, like, because this was on my heart to give. So I'm going to show up and I'm going to serve. That's the reality of it. We got to get to the point where we got to stop looking around and see who clapping. We got to stop. And here's the thing. I had a moment this week where I had to call one of my mentors, and I was like, hey, look, I need some big sister energy. And here's the thing. 7-figure entrepreneur, like, literally doing her thing all over the country. Inc. 5000 has hired her to, like literally so many major things. And she stopped and she called me, because here's the thing. Valuable people know valuable people. So I could sit and I could cry about all the other people who won't take the time to cheer for me, or I could be like, dang, she took the time to make sure I was cool. She took the time to invest back into me. She took the time to let me vent and to say, hey, I've been there too. So we got to get to a point where we understand that you are going to miss 100% of the shots. Not only that you don't take, but those that you that you don't take and that you don't recoup from. Any of my ballers, sports people on here that play games, right? You know, if you're not in a bed and you're in a bad headspace, you're probably not going to be able to perform. This is why they have halftime. This is why they have breaks. This is why the coach can come and call a timeout. The thing within entrepreneurship is that nobody's going to tell you to take a timeout. So when you're triggered and you acting a fool out here, that's why you need community. That's why you need, like, somebody like, well, why would I invest in you know what? I will fly all over the country to be around people who could check me when I'm wrong. Around people who gonna be my sparring partners. Some of y'all are not, y'all want the results, but you won't invest in what it'll take to get the results. That's the best way I could say it. But I'm gonna leave you with this. Are you gonna be in the economy seats? Or are you trying to be in first class? If you're trying to be in first class, I need you to recognize who you are being. Are you being the person who's entitled? Are you being the person who feels like everything, like, like, who are you being? Are you being a person who's going to give more value than you could ever receive? And I know that. There's some people who can never pay me back. And that's okay. And God had to like literally check me on this. God had to check me on this last 2 weeks because I had some betrayal to go on. I had something, and I just had some like hating. I came back from coming out of town. And I'm thinking some people like, oh my God, that's so great. Like, I'm thinking we finna have a kickback and my people gonna beat her. And it just wasn't that. I'm gonna tell the truth. Now here's the thing. No, this like my core circle, you know who you are. But the reality is, are you going to allow the actions of a few to keep you from who you are destined to be? Because if when we get to the point where we look around to see what everybody else is doing, that's when you miss your flight. When we start waiting to see what everybody else gonna do, and like, okay, look, hey, if you want to go to, I don't know, Coachella or Essence or Memphis, wherever my Memphis and May, like what, or Dubai, let's even go that far. If you want to go there, I'm a person where, okay, we talking about it and then it's done. I'm an action taker. I'm not waiting for you to get your stuff together. I'm gonna be who I desire to be. And that's why I desire to, not only do I desire to sit in first class, I'm committed to staying in first class. Economy cannot accommodate me. And those of you who desire to be around high value people, those of you who desire to have people of value in your life, you need to find out what you need to do to get to first class. I can tell you, it's going to be a lot of no's. I could tell you it's going to be some sleepless nights. I could tell you that it's going to be some questioning yourself. It's going to be some people falling off, some people flipping upsides. It's going to be some switching up. I'm going to tell you it's going to take some money. But let me tell you, it ain't nothing like hopping on first class first and your drink already there. And you can just have your drink and there's a blanket. And you can put your blanket on. And you can sit back and relax. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like when the flight takes off and they pull back the curtain and you have some privacy. And when you're sitting, you got, again, I'm a big body Benz girl, and you got more leg room and you can push back. Or those, my people who have the Delta Sky Miles, I think it's Sky Miles, who can go in the lounge. I've been there once. Who could go in the lounge and you can sit and you can relax. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. It's nothing like it. But here's the thing. In order to get there, you got to pay. You got to pay. And some of y'all not willing to pay what you weigh. And that's it. My unpopular opinion might get me canceled in some other places. But here's the reality of it. People who sit in first class, they going somewhere. They got business. They need to look, big body Benz. You already know. Look. I'm just saying, people who sit in first class, they understand their mission, their vision, their value, who their people are. They figure something out that the people in the economy haven't. Because in order to sit in first class and to stay in first class and to continue to have that type of momentum, it's a different person that you have to be. And that's why everybody ain't there. That's why some people, that's why there is a Spirit. That's why there is a Frontier. No disrespect to them. But it ain't nothing like riding in first class in Delta. It ain't nothing like riding in first class in American or even United. I'll give them that. Those three, customer service top tier. There's nothing like that experience. And here's the thing, some people will turn up their nose at it, or I'm not going to pay extra to get on the flight earlier, but you ain't never been a person who you've been running from here and there and like, and you just want to put, I'm a person where I get on the flight, y'all, and y'all know I done been in 4 cities in 4 months. I was like on tour. Baby, when I get on my flight, all I need to see is the plane take off. I'm asleep. And I don't do layovers. I want to go directly to the city. Okay? But that's a different type of person. It's some people that's cool with doing layovers in multiple cities. It's some people that's cool with paying extra for their bags and all this. Look, I got clear. I need to get through here. I'm not trying to, it's a difference. But here's the thing. You got to know who you are. Premium people do things differently than the people who are in the economic space, or in the economy. And no disrespect, we need both of them, right? I still frequent Walmart, but look, I'm a Walmart drive-up girl. I don't want to go, and I'm gonna choose which Walmart. Y'all know it's some ghetto Walmarts. All the Walmarts got some ghetto-ness, but it's some ghetto or Walmarts. So it's a different type of level that certain people will frequent. Don't mean one better than the other one. But it's the frequency. I mean, it's a different frequency, okay? That's all I got for y'all. I hope this was helpful. I hope that one, you understand the different level of emotional intelligence that you need to have in this journey in life, not in entrepreneurship, not in work, whatever you are. If you're an entrepreneur, whatever that might like, no, I need you to look at who you're being and see if who am I being, is who I am gonna get me to where I want to go. Because if it ain't on nobody but you, baby. Nobody but you. All right. Thanks for joining me today.